Mangalacharan prayers. Anybody would like to volunteer? Nihal?
ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः.
Okay, I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Prabhupada Pranati, please. Anybody would like to volunteer? Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadhi Pashyata Deshatarine. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Who would like to recite the Panchatattva prayers? Okay. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. So let's chant the before reciting Chaitanya Charitamrita, let's chant the following prayers. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you for participating in this class today. How have you been over the weekend? How was
Good, Mataji.
Okay, I could not join last week. I was sick, so I could not join. But this week, we will have more nice stories. Okay. Okay, Mataji. All right, so we'll get started. And so last week, do you remember any stories from last week that we have read, or the previous week? If you could recollect any of the pastimes. All right. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had discovered so many books and he gave some of the books to Ramananda Rai, and he had asked Ramananda Rai to come and meet him at Jagannath Puri, and he had traveled forward, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So at Chaitanya, over there, he at Jagannath Puri, so he's basically staying there, and over there, people are so happy. Devotees are so happy to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after his South India trip. So from there, that's where we stand, and so now what happens is that so many devotees are coming, and some of the notable devotees that have come to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Swarup Damodar. He's one of the intimate associates of the Lord. So he has come to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is my voice clear enough for you?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good enough.
Yes, Mataji.
So, all right, thank you. So we shall read some of the pastimes from there, and then we will go on. Okay, is that a good idea?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So, the next day, Swarup Damodar arrived at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's residence. Damodar Swarupa was formerly a resident of Navadvip, okay, named Purushottama Acharya. He had been a very intimate friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. After the Lord accepted the renounced order of life, Purushottama Acharya became just like a madman and immediately set out for Varanasi to also take sannyas. At the conclusion of his initiation, Swarup Damodar's sannyas guru Chaitanyananda Bharati ordered him, read Vedanta Sutra and teach it to all others. Swarup Damodar was a greatly learned scholar, and since he was very eager to worship Lord Krishna without disturbance, he had accepted the renounced order of life. Swarup Damodar followed the principle of giving up the shika and sacred thread, but he did not accept the saffron dress, the danda, or the sannyas title, but instead kept his brahmachari name. After taking leave from his sannyas guru, Swarup Damodar departed for Nilachal so that he could take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar was the limit of all the learned scholarship, and yet he rarely exchanged words with anyone, but instead would remain in a solitary place. Swarup Damodar was the personification of ecstatic love, and he directly represented Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his second expansion. If someone wrote a book or composed some verse songs or a drama, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would agree to listen to it only after having been examined and approved by Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar was an expert musician as the Gandharvas, and he used to give Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu great happiness by singing the poems of Vidyapati, Chan, Chandidasa, and Jayadev Goswami. In terms of scriptural discussions, Swarup Damodar was just like Brihaspati, and thus it can be concluded that there was no other great personality quite like him. Indeed, Swarup Damodar was extremely dear to Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, and he was the life and soul of all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. So basically, Swarup Damodar would understand the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and based on that, he would write poems, or he would basically understand what is his mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. So he is so intimate with the Lord that he understands all this. While falling flat to offer his obeisances to the Lord, Swarup Damodar recited the following verse. O ocean of kindness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation. By your mercy, everything is made pure and blissful, covering all gross material pressures. By your auspicious mercy, disagreements arising from the varieties of viewpoints that are presented in Shastra are vanquished. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. Thereafter, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised up Swarup Damodar and embraced him, both became so ecstatic that they fell down unconscious. Finally, after regaining his composure, the Lord said, I saw in a dream that you were coming here, so your arrival is very auspicious. I've been just like a blind man, but your coming here has restored my vision. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. And Swarup Damodar replied, My dear Lord, please excuse my great offense, for I gave up your association to go elsewhere. My Lord, I do not possess even a trace of love for you. Otherwise, how could I go to another country? Therefore, I am a most sinful person. Still, even though I gave up your company, you did not abandon me. By your rope of mercy, you have bound me by the neck and dragged me here to your lotus feet. So it is such that, Krishna consciousness is such that sometimes um, our own inabilities to do certain things, um, you cannot do everything just by yourself, right? Um, so the kind of things that we do sometimes, it feels like, oh yeah, we are doing this, we wanted to do this, but we are so unable to do it. But then Krishna helps. Yeah. Krishna really helps. And sometimes we are stuck up in our thoughts. Oh, I can't do it. Sometimes it feels like that. But then Krishna gives you a little push and he says, okay, don't worry, I got your back. Yes, so it's like that. And Swarup Damodar also felt like that. Okay. How many of you ever felt that way? Like sometimes you felt like you couldn't have done that without the Lord's help. Like, can you share one of the instances that you felt like that?
Mataji, can you repeat the question?
Yes. So, there are certain circumstances in our day-to-day activities that we feel like, it's so hard, and I couldn't have done that without Krishna's help. Yeah. Have you ever felt like that? Saisha, can you raise your hand, please? I mean, can you unmute yourself and go ahead with the answer?
So, a couple of years ago, I had gotten my earring stuck in my ear, and so I was really scared, and so I got like the surgery on my ear, and I prayed to Krishna a lot, and so it helped me and get through it.
Oh, okay. That was a good one. And what about Mihika?
Mataji, whenever like there's a bit too much homework, then I kind of get stressed up. So then, the only thing I can think of is like homework, but then Krishna helps me go through it and finish it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, even I felt there are many instances in our lives that when we go through, but you guys are lucky because you get to understand that you are not the doers. I mean, Krishna is there behind you, helping you. So he got your back and everything, right? So yeah, same goes with everybody, right? So we don't know how to do this. Sometimes we think like, oh, I would have done that service. I really wanted to do that service, but somehow I got stuck. And during festivals, somehow or the other, Krishna arranges, okay, you do this service. And miraculously, things will happen. So I feel like, yeah, Krishna really understands, like listens to our heart and what is there. And sometimes our feelings of insecurity or the fears also drives it. So you may have to be careful, like what you decide. If you wanted to decide for ice cream, you get it. Krishna is, all merciful. He will give it. But then the aftermath, we have to face it, right? So, but yeah, Krishna always provides. Krishna always have your back, and um, there's always the sweet exchanges with you and the Lord. Yeah. So, so like that, Swarup Damodar also felt like he has been out of association of the devotees, but Krishna made sure he pulled him. Because if we go astray, if you go away from the association of devotees, it becomes hard. Life becomes very tough. So that's why Krishna pulled, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually literally pulled a Swarup Damodar to his back to his association. Thereafter, Swarup Damodar worshipped the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, who in turn embraced him in ecstatic love, and Swarup Damodar then met Jagadananda, Kunta, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, and Paramananda Puri. As was befitting, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assigned to him a residence in solitary place as well as a servant. The next day, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat with the devotees discussing the pastimes of Krishna, Govinda arrived there. After offering his respectful obeisances to the Lord, Govinda very submissively spoke as follows: I am the servant of Ishwarapuri and my name is Govinda. So Ishwarapuri is actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru, right? So Govinda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are contemporaries, like they're God brothers. Yes. So I am the servant of Ishwarapuri and my name is Govinda. Following the order of my spiritual master, I've come here. Just before his departure from the mortal world, Ishwarapuri instructed me to approach you so as to engage in your service. So now Govinda has become the personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because Krishna Das, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Das, you go away from here. And now Krishna Das is sent to Bengal by Nityananda Prabhu. So now somebody has to be a personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Govinda has come. And Kashishwara will also come after visiting the holy places. But as for myself, upon receiving my spiritual master's order, I hastily came here to present at your lotus feet. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my spiritual master Ishwara Puri always favors me with paternal affection, and thus out of his causeless mercy he has sent you here. Now Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya include, why did Ishwara Puri keep as his personal servant someone born in a Shudra family? And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, both the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, and the spiritual master are completely independent. Therefore, their mercy is not dependent upon any Vedic rules and regulations, caste or creed. Vidura was a Shudra, and yet Lord Krishna accepted lunch at his house. Krishna's mercy is dependent only upon love, and being obliged by such affection, he acts very independently. When the devotee deals with Krishna on the basis of transcendental love, the resultant happiness is millions of times greater than the happiness derived from dealings which are based on awe and reverence. So basically, there is one instruction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here very nicely explains, that the love for Krishna is not determined by caste and creed, right? Only Brahmanas can love, because at that time, in that society, where it was, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, this whole caste system was so predominant. Even 50 or 70 years back, India was totally under the caste system. But caste system will work when everybody knows what they are. Actually, there are two in Srimad Bhagavatam. I've been reading this um, uh, fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada really clearly writes in his purport, there are two kinds of ashram, right? One is there is a material occupation that you are to use, and the other is your spiritual position. Like, for instance, you can be classified under four categories. One is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and a Shudra, right? So these four categories are for your material life, like how you engage yourself in your work, karma, right? So there is another thing, which is your spiritual side, which is of four categories. One is Brahmana, Brahmachari, uh, uh, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, right? So these are the four categories in your spiritual life, right? So basically, these two things are intermingled in the sense that one is helping the other, right? So based on your capacities, let's say you could be a Brahmana, or spiritually you have to take up different ashrams, right? So if you take up different ashrams, for example, if you are a brahmachari, you have to do all sorts of works based on your varna, right? Your varna is of four categories, which is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So these are very essential in the sense that it will understand like what kind of work will make you feel happy. Someone will be very interested like in just working for others. Like if I have a structure into work, they really like it. Okay, it doesn't mean that Shudra means I have to be like this, doing this kind of activities. No, that is very difficult. I mean, in this day and age, everybody are practically Shudras because we don't have that spiritual foundation, the fundamental spiritual foundation. But you can be anything that you wanted to be in terms of spiritual understanding, because that doesn't define it doesn't define you into all these categories, right? So basically, in those age, they said that Brahmanas should only read the Shastra and nobody else should read the Shastra. But it is not so this case, because this spiritual life, which is the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, is to everybody. Chanting of the holy name is to everyone. So that's why, even Krishna, he went to the house of Vidura to go and take prasad in his house, because Vidura at that time, he was born in a Shudra family, right? He was one of a maid servant, right? So Vidura So in that sense, he's considered as an outcast. But Krishna doesn't accept that. He accepts the heart, the mood in which the devotee is actually serving you, right? And similar is the case with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to abolish that system. That, oh, Brahmanas can only chant the holy names and not other people. So that is something that he wanted to cut down, right? So that is what he is explaining to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is of the high class Brahmin. So after saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda in turn, and in turn Govinda offered his obeisances to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Bhattacharya, please consider this point. Since the servant of the spiritual master is always respectable for me, it is not befitting that he should engage in my personal service. On the other hand, my spiritual master has ordered him to do so. What should I do?" So he's saying it's the order of my spiritual master. So let him come. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, "The order of the father of the spiritual master is very strong and cannot be disobeyed, for that is the injunction of the Shastra. Being ordered by his father, Parashurama killed his mother and Renuka as if she was an enemy." So basically, in that pastime of Parashurama, this king named Kartavirya Arjuna, he will come and he will come and take a look. He will actually, Parashurama's father is Jamagdani and his mother is Renuka, and they have their brothers. So one day, when Parashuram's mother, Renuka, was going out to fetch some water, at time she was looking at a king and he was very handsome, and she was just having some desires in her heart. And Jamagdani knew it. And in that process, she forgot her time, the time was going away for fire sacrifice. So she rushed and returned back. It was just, mental offense, but still, in those days, it is considered an offense. So then what happened was, if that is the case in Kali Yuga, practically all um, all the people are mentally offensive, right? There is lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, all sorts of things in our heart. So Jamagdani actually said, his brothers asked his brothers, "You kill your mother because she deserves punishment like that." And their brothers were not killing because it was their mother. And Jamagdani asked Parashurama, "You go and kill." And he just took a sword and killed his mom, killed his mother, and also his brothers. And soon after that, Jamagdani said, "Okay, since you have basically obeyed me. So, killing your own mother is considered a very great sin. And but you cannot disobey the order of your father also." So he didn't have a choice. Parashurama was so confused, because it is one of the biggest confusions that you can have in your life, right? Just kill your mom, right? That is hard thing to do. Then Jamagdani said, "Okay, Parashurama, do you want a boon?" And Parashurama said, "What? You ask for a boon, I'll give you." And Parashurama will kindly say, "I want my brothers and my mother back." And kindly, erase that memory from their mind and the heart that, nothing ever happened. So it was resolved. So later, Parashurama, that's why, this is one such instance where own mother, you have to do this for your own mother. So that is actually one thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, is that the order of the spiritual master and that of the father should not be disobeyed. So after hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda and thereafter began engaging him in the personal bodily service. Everyone respected Govinda as being the dear servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Govinda served all of the Vaishnavas by seeing to their needs. two devotees who were musicians named Haridasa and Junior Haridas. Senior Haridas and Junior Haridas, as well as Ramai and Nandai, used to stay with Govinda to render service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The next day, Mukunda Datta informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Brahmananda Bharati has come to see you. Shall I bring him here? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, Brahmananda Bharati is on the level with my spiritual master, and thus it is befitting for me to go and see him. So, see, this kind of etiquette Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followed, because one has to be very careful while dealing with devotees, because one has to practice a good etiquette. Even though you be with friends and you say, oh, you go to your temple and then you go play with your friends, that time you always be respectful of your friends, right? Because uh, they're Krishna is there in everybody's heart, including your friend's heart. So you have to be very mindful of how you deal with devotees and how you speak and how we act uh, with one another, right? So it's an instruction for me as well, because I also slip into that difficult zones, but I still come back. If I had committed any offense to a Vaishnava, I always sincerely go and ask for forgiveness. So that is something is very important um, to your devotional life and to your personal life as well, right? So the quality of humility is very important. Yes. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, Brahmanand Bharati is on the level with my spiritual master. The Lord then went with his devotees to where Brahmananda Bharati was staying, and upon their arrival, they saw that he was wearing a deer skin. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very unhappy at this. However, knowing that such an external show was simply a manifestation of pride, therefore, instead of recognizing Brahmananda Bharati, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pretended not to see him. The Lord then said, where is Brahmananda Bharati, my spiritual master? Mukunda Datta replied, here is Brahmananda Bharati, right? Bharati, right before you. The Lord then said, you must be mistaken. This cannot be Brahmananda Bharati, for why should he wear a deer skin? You simply have no knowledge. And when Brahmananda Bharati heard this, he thought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not approve of my deer skin, and his chastisement is certainly proper. I've been wearing this deer skin only for gaining prestige, but I shall never be able to cross over the ocean of nescience simply by such a pretension. From now on, I will no longer wear this deer skin, he thought to himself. Understanding Bharati's decision, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately ordered that a sannyas cloth be brought to him. And as soon as Bharati dressed like a regular sannyasi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances at his lotus feet. And then Brahmananda Bharati said, you instruct people in general by your behavior. From now on, I will never do anything against your desire. Otherwise, you'll neglect me. I'm very much afraid of this. Two things that we very, very careful of. Even today, I was just reading that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful that it can take away all the sins just by chanting once, right? Like if you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once, it can remove all your sins. Not knowingly, unknowingly, does not matter. So you're doing a favor. If you chant loudly enough, you will be able to do favor to all the microorganisms and the small little insects and the bees that come. So you are actually doing a favor to them, right? But even more powerful is the names of Lord Gauranga and Nityananda. So when you chant the holy names of Lord Gauranga and Nityananda, no sin is uh, ever enough to say that, oh, you have done so much sin. No, because Nityananda Prabhu will take away all the sin. He's much more merciful, even merciful than Gauranga Mahaprabhu, right? So such is the mercy of the Lord, and such is the um, nature of their holy names, right? So one has to understand that. And so similarly, Brahmananda Bharati also, he feels that, um, see, I'm very pretentious, and yet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is accepting me, right? Because I just wear this deerskin, and it doesn't mean that oh yeah, you're judgmental, or whatsoever. But no, he can't correct him at the same time because he's on the odd level of his spiritual master. So he's just saying it in a very alluding way, such that he will understand it. And then one must be, that's why he's very careful that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu neglects me, then where will I be? What is my position, right? So one must have that humility, and by whatever the circumstances may be, you always take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At present, we see two Brahmanas, Lord Jagadananda, who does not move, and you are moving. Both of you are the same Brahman, or the master of material nature, but you are playing two roles while residing at Jagannath Puri. Of the two Brahmanas, you are fair complexion, whereas Lord Jagannath is blackish. Still, both of you are delivering the entire world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, actually, due to your presence, there are two Brahmanas at Jagannath Puri. Both Brahmananda and Gaurahari are moving, whereas the blackish Lord Jagannath is sitting tight and immovable. So, Brahmananda Bharati was trying to prove that both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the other hand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to establish that he and Brahmananda, with both jivas, are among the many parts and parcels of the Supreme Brahman. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to be humble. He's taking the position of a devotee of the Lord. So he never accepts himself as being said that, oh, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He never said that. So that's why when he wrote Sikshashtakam prayers, he always says that na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim, kavitamba jagadisha kame, mama janmani janmaneshware, avatar bhaktir ahaitu tvai, right? So he said, I don't want any wealth nor followers. I just want to be the servant of the servant of the servant, right? So his mood is that. So he is actually saying that my mood, as for anybody, for devotees like us, our mood should be that we have to be the servant of the Lord, not the masters, right? Many times, all the time, almost all the time, we forget that. So it's also important to read the Shikshashtakam prayers if you can. Who always remind us that we are the servants, not the masters, right? Even if you are the master, and that your situation warrants that you wanted to be the masters, or you want to be the guiding personality, or you are given a certain task where you are put in some sort of a leadership, you still have to think that I am the servant of my spiritual master, right? So that is and you are given that task just to be executed so that your spiritual master is happy. So this is the kind of attitude that one should live around. Yes. So Brahmananda Bharati then said, my dear Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, please become the mediator in this debate. The Jiva is localized, whereas the Supreme Brahman is all pervading. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu purified me by taking away my deer skin, it proves that he is all powerful and I am his subordinate. In the Vishnu Nama Shotra of Mahabharata, a description of the Lord's incarnation is given as follows. His bodily complexion is golden, and every limb is decorated with sandalwood paste. Having accepted the renounced order of life, the Lord is firmly fixed in the mission of establishing the religious principles for the age. All of these symptoms are clearly visible in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then see, this is Vishnu Nama Stotra, right? So the Lord's incarnation, this particular incarnation of the Lord, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is actually stated in uh, uh, very few scriptures. And this Vishnu Nama Stotra of Mahabharata, it is actually written in Mahabharata, which I've never heard of. But this is said that it is in the Vishnu Nama Stotra of Mahabharata. So there is this shloka that says that, oh, this bodily complexion will be golden and he will be wearing sandalwood place, and then his order will be the sannyas order, like that. So then hearing this, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya said, Brahmananda Bharati, you are now victorious. You win. Okay, he says. At this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately conceded by saying, I accept whatever Brahmananda Puri has said for the disciple. So it's taking the humble position of a disciple, and he's saying that whatever he is saying, that is what the disciple should agree. So I will accept it. So like that, the argument is always on a very heartily level, and it just creates a lot of joy in the heart of people who read it, right? So the Brahman and the Bharati then argued, it is not the cause of your defeat. The real reason is your natural inclination to accept defeat in the hands of your devotees. Now there is another glory of yours, which I request you to hear about attentively. Ever since my birth, I have been accused to meditating upon the impersonal Brahman. But since I've seen you, I felt the presence of Lord Krishna within my mind, and I always desire to chant the holy name of the Lord. Indeed, I have been seeing Krishna before my very eyes, for within my heart, I consider you to be Lord Krishna himself. Just as Bilvamangal Thakur abandoned his impersonal meditation due to realization of a Supreme Personality of Godhead, my condition has also changed. So basically, it's from Mayavad that he's converting to Vaishnavism, right? And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you have a deep ecstatic love for Krishna, and thus wherever your eyes turn, your Krishna consciousness becomes enhanced. So then Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya says, both of your statements are correct, for without possessing ecstatic love for Krishna, one cannot see him directly. Now, because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's merciful appearance, Brahmananda Bharati has acquired a direct vision of the Lord. So then the whole day, went by, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that, they were just glorifying each other, and they were having these wonderful conversations among one another, and they were just going on. So they took rest afterwards, right? So far, there are any questions or comments or questions, realizations, anything that you would like to hear or share comes to your mind? Okay, Riyansh and Ritik, can you go ahead, please?
Can I tell you what I learned?
I'm sorry, what is it? Can
I tell you what I learned in this class?
Yes, please. I would love to hear that.
I learned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a form of both Krishna and Radha.
What is that? Can you come again? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
I
is what?
learned that is a form of both Krishna and Radha.
Yes. And he is the most merciful of all the incarnations, because Krishna always, says, do you deserve this? Then I will give you. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they don't consider that. They just simply give without any qualifications. That is actually, we have to be very, very thankful and grateful for what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Riyansh and Ritik. And what about
Mataji, also, I wanted to say that Govinda became the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because Ishvara Puri told him that to be the servant.
Yes, yes. And how about Mihika? Can we hear from Mihika?
Yes, Mataji. I learned that it doesn't really matter if it's like what caste you are.
Yes.
It just matters how your spiritual practice is, because it doesn't matter if you're a Shudra. It was like Vidura. Krishna even went to his house even though he was a Shudra. But like Duryodhana was a Kshatriya, but he still denied to go to his house.
Yes, because there was no love, right? The only factor that influences your bhakti is love. Yes. So then go ahead, Nihal. You want to share something?
I have a question. So my question is, why is the name Gauranga more important than Mahamantra?
Well, I didn't say it is more important. I said it's more merciful. So the point is that um, see, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very, very powerful. But Gauranga, the name and the form are one and the same, right? So the Gauranga and Nityananda, yeah. So uh, when you say those names, there is no qualifications, like because they immediately take away they don't see anything like you know what is it like you are considered very fallen, you're considered a debauchery, or you're a debauchery, or you are like anything that can be like, for instance, this pastime of Jagai and Madai, right? There is no sin they have not committed. Can you imagine? Like they were everything that you can actually remember or even heard of, not even heard of at that time. There are thousands of Jagai and Madai here in this material world. But just for instance, just think about it. Like Jagai and Madai, Jagai went and, begged for forgiveness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Madai was like, okay, fine. Madai, he said no. Because you hate Nityananda Prabhu, right? So then Nityananda Prabhu, right? No, no, no. Consider them. Nityananda Prabhu is saying, oh, consider them. Because if they are not delivered, how can these people ever chant the holy names of Krishna? Right? So then they both cried at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and immediately that mercy is granted. So even before saying that, they were saying, uh, like even without thinking for a second, they are just like, okay, you are granted permission to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Don't worry about it. Just go on chanting the holy name. So that's actually, there are also the list of offenses, 10 offenses to chanting the holy name of Lord, right? So one must carefully avoid those offenses, like blaspheming the devotees of the Lord, and you're going and so all these 10 offenses of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So these are effective when you avoid these 10 offenses. But when you say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, when you say Lord Nityananda Prabhu's name, there is no offense at all. There is no consideration. This is called unconditional love. They give unconditional love. There is no condition to it because, oh, you know what? You have to do this in order to obtain my mercy. You have to do this in order to get this. No, there is no condition in it. It's just freely given. Whatever it is, I accept you for what you are. So that is the speciality of Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu. Well, in the instance, what they said is chant the Mahamantra. That is supremely powerful, right? So that is what they have said. So we accept what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu says, right? Does that answer your question, Nihal?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. I'm not voting for, oh, this Mahamantra is, I'm not concocting a different mantra here. I'm just saying that the names of Lord Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu are merciful. Very, very merciful. That's what I'm saying. Yes. So what Manhar has to say here?
So is that why we say the Panchatattva Mahamantra before chanting?
Yes. Panchatattva Mahamantra actually give you the qualification to chant the holy name. So you need somebody like, it's a saying that, only a pure devotee can take you to Vrindavan. You can't just enter Vrindavan like that. Only a pure devotee is capable of taking you to Vrindavan. In all my life, I've never been to Vrindavan except for one time. And I felt like that's entirely a different world. So basically, you need mercy in order to enter a specific place, a holy dham, or whatever that is. You need some sort of purification done before even you can do that. So similarly, for the Panchatattva, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. So they give you the permission to chant the holy name of the Lord. That is one thing. And the second thing that you do is you tell the prayers to your spiritual master, right? So it's disciplic succession. You can't just directly, hey, I've got that mantra. Yeah, now I'm powerful. I can do whatever I want. No, that's not the attitude. Humility is the key. It's a top-down approach that the river flows from the falls. It comes from top to bottom, right? So same way, everything comes from top to bottom. So that's why you chant the Panchatattva mantra and also your prayers to the spiritual master. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Yes. Namaste Saraswati Devi. So you chant that. And then the qualification comes to you, right? So it's for that instance that in that category, when we say that, they take away all the offense that you have committed, and knowingly or unknowingly, whatever that be. So yeah, that's actually one of the things. Thank you very much, Manhar, for bringing that point out. So anything else that you would like to discuss here, or should we go on reading, or what is right now is just 5 more minutes? And what would you like to do at this point?
Mataji, are we ending or are we going to continue?
It depends. Do you want it to go ahead and read this topic, or what would you like to do? Okay, maybe we can read for 5 more minutes and then we'll end the call. Yeah?
Okay, Mother.
Okay. So, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was saying that, so the next day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said, remember Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was gone from Jagannath Puri, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he said that, there is this nice sannyasi whose name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and he has come to Jagannath Puri and he had left to South India too. And this king, Prataparudra Rai, his name is Prataparudra Rai, and he wanted to meet him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not inclined to meeting these kingly people because, they're very different. It's like meeting a celebrity, right? So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, please let me please submit a statement to you without fear. Of course, you can speak without fear, but only if your statement is suitable will I accept it. Otherwise, I shall certainly reject it. Okay. Sarvabhauma said, okay. Then there is a king named Prataparudra who is very anxious to have your audience, and he requests your permission to meet you. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, as soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this proposal, he said, oh, close your eyes. And then, my dear Sarvabhauma, why are you requesting such an undesirable thing from me? Since I'm a sannyasi, it is dangerous for me to meet a king as it is to meet a woman. allows for a person who is seriously desiring to cross over a material ocean and engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord, seeing a materialist engaged in sense gratification and a woman who is similarly inclined is more abominable than voluntarily drinking poison. So see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very careful. He is Lord himself. He is not, contaminated by this behavior, but he is setting an example for sannyasis that he should not freely mix with women and he should not see materialists who are highly engaged in sense gratification. So these are all very difficult for, he thinks that it will be very difficult for a sannyasi to take all this. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya objected, my dear Lord, what have you said is correct, but this king is not ordinary. He is a great devotee and a servant of Lord Jagannath. So there are many great kings like Prahlad Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj, then Bali Maharaj. So these are all very, very great devotees. Bharat Maharaj, Rishabh Dev. So these are all very, very wonderful devotees who are also kings, right? So who are very, in general, very, very abiding by the rules of the Shastra and following the scriptures. And also they follow their regulative principles very seriously. So that's why, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya objected, my dear Lord, what you have said is correct, but he is not an ordinary king. He is a very nice devotee, so you please come and see him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, even though the king may have a great devotee, he still must be considered as dangerous as a poisonous snake. Similarly, even though women may be made of wood, one becomes agitated simply by touching her form. Just as one becomes immediately frightened upon seeing a serpent, so one who is endeavoring for self-realization should fear materialistic persons and women. Indeed, one should not even glance at their bodily features. My dear Bhattacharya, if you continue speaking like this, you will never see me here again. Therefore, please do not again let such a request come from your mouth. Hearing this, he fearfully turned home and he began to carefully consider the matter. At this time, King Prataparudra arrived at Jagannath Puri accompanied by Ramananda Rai and a large retinue. While the king went to visit Lord Jagannath in the temple, Ramananda Rai went with great pleasure to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Ramananda Rai offered his obeisances, at this time, both of them began to cry with ecstasy of transcendental love. Upon seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intimate dealings with Ramananda Rai, the other devotees were astonished. So now Ramananda Rai is also coming. At that place, King Prataparudra has also come. So we will continue this next week since many of you are left. So we will see what happened later, how Prataparudra actually met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let's see what happens next week. Okay. So I stop here, and if there are, we will meet you all next week. Okay. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful week ahead. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Panchakalpatarubhyasya pasundabhyeva cha paritanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Bye.